It's about the sun, it's about the world. It's about the sun, it's about the sky. It's about the world, it's about you. Spinning around, it's about the world, it's about the sky. It's about you, it's about me.
Hello, hello.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hi all. Hi everyone.
Yeah,
Man,
so
the song
I see.
the song was so good. I didn't want to speak. I was waiting for the song to finish. But unfortunately we have to start on time. Thanks Chris
Yeah,
for
all
doing
right.
this, man.
Yes, thank you, and especially the community. So thanks everyone for tuning in to today's. Well, it's the first Cypher AMA session. I think it's great to see the growth both in the numbers as well as the level of engagement in our community. Actually, I see there are 72 people listening in.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
Good
Yeah.
start.
So that's it. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So Cypher is a huge project. So there are a lot of questions that people have, and then so that's why we're doing this AMA, so to answer all the questions. So I think we shall start from a quick intro. Right. So I'm Spectrain. So first of all, I'm a huge fan of Cypher, obviously, and also a Cypherian moderator here. And here we have Tin, the founder of Cypher. Right. So perhaps Tin can just do a quick intro to everyone.
Sure. Thanks, Chris. So hi everyone again. Thank you for listening in, for tuning in to the first AMA. I'm very very glad to be here to be sharing with you guys and answering some questions regarding Cypher. So a bit about myself. I've been, well, I'm Vietnamese born. You can see from my profile. I was born and raised in Vietnam, studied abroad in Melbourne for a good 9 years. And then when I came back here to Vietnam about 11 years ago, um, I started a few businesses to help people. Turn up. Okay, sure. Okay, is it better now, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit, but of course not as loud as Peekaboo.
Okay, I'll try to. Okay, cool. Give me a second. I'll just turn up the input volume here. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, I was born and raised in Vietnam. Went to Australia to study for a good 9 years. Came back here about 10, 11 years ago, and just started a bunch of businesses. One after another. It's always been fun for me to think of what amazing things entrepreneurship can bring. And to me, it's all about the challenge it brings, and then also the rewarding feelings when people love your product. Whether it's a bar, a lounge, which were my first businesses, or whether it's a co-working space, whether it's an apartment high-rise building, or now whether it's a game. For me, it's all about the rewarding experience when people love what we built. So yeah, that was a pretty brief intro about myself, and hopefully I can take more questions along the way.
All right, great. Thanks, Tin. So let's get on to the questions. So all of your questions actually in the thread have been collected by me, and I think after the MA, two best questions will be picked to win the Cypher giveaway that we announced on Twitter. So to be fair, I'll just pick questions on a first come first serve basis in the thread, and also of course repeated questions for the sake of time. We're not gonna ask them. And also many people have multiple questions actually asked in one question. So then I might not be able to ask all of them, just so that we try to get questions from as many people as possible. Yeah, so let's start with the first question from I believe it was Momo or Momo, so Wender2255. So his question is, what has the Cypher team seen work and not work in other NFT gaming projects? And
or they just have an awesome kind of like a roadmap with a large community following it, even though the art or the idea is not so novel, not so new. um, I think those are the two sort of make it or break it when it comes to NFT art projects. For gaming project, on the other hand, I've seen, well, we all seen the rise of Axie Infinity, and it's a great example, and it's a great case study, and a great role model for Cypher as well. I mean, they started 3 years ago, and it's super grassroots. That they focus on building the game, making sure the early communities love the game and love playing it, and just grow it from there. So, I mean, so what has worked? Basically, grassroots community, focus on just building a great game and, improving it day by day, week by week, month by month, and just keep adding on to it, stacking on the success. What has not worked when it comes to NFT game project are just clones, right? Like, projects that, take I don't know, like they have released some kind of like a flash kind of web flash game that they've seen, and they just copy and clone and try to do something there, or some projects that are just obviously quick, cash grab. Like, you don't know who the founder is, you don't know the founding team, you don't know what they're doing. I don't think that will work. So as a result, Cypher, at the beginning we chose to go full on, public, like who we are, what we stand for, what have we done before, and what we plan to do. So very transparent. And we focus on making sure that we can learn from Axie and other successful traditional game company, that we have to make a great game, and it all start with a great story, great artwork, and eventually a great fan base that can help us improve our game. So yeah, I hope that answered the question, Momo.
Yes, thanks, Tin. So then the next question is from Burrito. So how can Cypher increase the value of the NFTs in long term, while ensuring that new players can join without a large initial investment? So because what he's seen in Axie Infinity is that the cost of entry also increases as the popularity grows.
Sure. So I mean, it's like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. When you say you want the NFT, essentially the NFT characters and in-game items and stuff, increase the value, that essentially adds another barrier, another cost to new players, because they have to buy the NFT and characters and items at that value. So it's a very hard balancing act. I think Axie is still trying to figure out how to best balance it well. I think they're releasing some free to play like Axies, but the free to play Axies will not be able to earn the rewards in game. So for us, how we plan to increase the value of our NFT holders, number one is because you're buying the originals. You're buying the 10,000s origin, Cypher Inus that will never release Cypher Inus ever again. And basically you are our distributor. Like, you control these 10,000, and later on when we release the cloning function, you essentially become the distributor, where you can clone new Cypher Inus and then distribute it to the market. So if you want, if the community decide they want newcomers to play, they want to make this a very open and a big community, we can just agree to make sure that the selling price of these Cypher Inus are affordable, and then we can bring on a large player base. Same thing with when it comes to like the Axie kind of how do I say it? The team, the scholarship, right? So in Cypher, it's the same thing. Like, if you have, I'm sure there'll be investors who have like a bunch of Cypher Inus, but they may not have the time nor the skill to be playing the game at a very high competitive level. So then we'll make features so that they can let these Inu, these characters, be used by people who may not have the money but are very good at playing or very hardworking at playing. So that also allows people to come into the game. So yeah, so those are the things we have in mind right now. And of course, as we build Cypher out, we'll make sure to have new other ideas to make sure the value of the NFT also benefits not only the holder, but also allow newcomers to have an easy access to Cypher. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tin. Then the next question is from Crypto Designer. So he's asking, Will the Sipheria universe be an open world game or more of a structured platform where you have to complete certain steps before advancing? And also, I'm assuming this is being developed, sorry, to be played within a web environment, or do you have any future plans for a downloadable software?
Okay, so the Cypherian universe is right now is it's not open world. It's open ended, but it's not open world. To create an open world game requires a lot of resources in terms of time, money, and effort, and which we don't have right now. We hope we'll have it one day, but we don't have it right now. So it won't be open world. It'll be open ended in a sense that the Cypherian universe is very big. We have many plans for the story and to create the characters and the NPCs and the lore and the factions. So it'll be massive, but in a sense of story and this and new, basically new maps and new places to discover. But yes, you have to complete certain quests. You have to pass certain levels, requirements. You have to acquire certain characters in order to advance further into the story or discover new worlds or new areas in the world. And yes, the game is being developed to be first playable on PC. However, what our other priority is to make sure after the PC version is done, we can make the mobile version for Android and iOS, because there's a big market for them as well. Thank you.
All right. So then the next question is from Crypty Knight. So he says, so today NFT projects are dropping almost every single day, with each with their own utility, unique artwork, and gaming genre. So how does Cypher plan to disrupt the blockchain gaming industry besides being the first MOBA with unique characters and lore? And how can Kyber Network help with this vision for the long-term success?
Yeah, I think disrupt is a big word. A lot of people want to use the word disrupt this and disrupt that. As a startup, of course, we want to make something different and unique, and we definitely think that making a game on the blockchain is already something quite innovative comparing to other traditional game company. And because it simply and it flips basically the game distribution model on its head, where now you as a player, you as the contributor, you as the participants, take a share or a large share of the excuse me, a large share of the growth and the success of the game. So I think that is already disruptive enough in terms of business model. Regarding just blockchain gaming, many games are being launched, but they're all following the same formula, where it's just like the typical kind of like click and like farming game or like staking game. But with Cypher, we believe that game has to be fun first and foremost. Game have to be fun and enjoyable to play, and then you participate in that fun. You make content for it. You become guild master. You become the player. You become the seller, the crafter, and then you earn through the participation. So I think that is equally as important as as just playing the game by itself. Um, and of course, lastly, in terms of gaming, the unique story, unique characters. That's why we invest so much time and effort into the art, into the story. And you guys can tell for sure from the content we put out, and the content we'll keep putting out over the next few months. You see, the level of quality we're putting in, because I think those are the things that attract people and keep people, not just, making, a few coins here and there. I mean, that's not that's not long term. And with regarding Kyber Network, they bring tremendous value, because those two founders, are essentially the OG of this space in Vietnam. I mean, they they first did the Kyber ICO back in 2017, with a big fanfare. And so they've seen it all. They witnessed the cycle. They implement so many like financial um, tools to basically diversify and help with the DeFi problems in crypto. So with their expertise, Cypher can implement a lot of DeFi applications we can make sure that the AMM market is being well served. We can make sure that our liquidity pool is very well managed and our treasury is very well managed. Also, recently they launched a DAO, so later on when Cypher decide to implement our DAO to manage the Cypher treasury, Kyber will be great help. So I think all in all, they're a tremendous value add to Cypher. And I think I'm very glad to have them on board. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tin. Then the next question is from Tiamon. So he says, most smart contracts in both DeFi and NFT projects are prone to errors, causing difficulties and sometimes losses to users. So how will Cypher prevent that?
Yeah, I mean, smart contract is very tricky. It's a simple mint contract is easy. There's a lot of templates you can use around the web. However, to make smart contract that solve thousands or hundreds of thousands of users to interact with your game, or to facilitate like DeFi operation or DEX operation, automatic trading operations, require a lot of knowledge. And this is exactly where Kyber comes in, because right now I think they have like $1 billion, in terms of like value locked in their DMM pool. So they've dealt with large amount of money, very tightly written contract that ensure there is very little or even no errors or no exploits possible. And this is the level of quality that we expect also to try and implement in Cypher, even with just our minting contract. But of course, later on for other more complex contract as well. So, and lastly, audits, right? So right now with a mint contract, because we have Kyber and it's simple enough, we'll basically audit the contract internally using our audit experts at Kyber. But in the future, when we launch more complicated smart contracts, we'll definitely tap into audit firms who can vouch for the smart contracts that we are building out. Thanks.
All right, great. Then the next question is from Audrey Lenko. So he's asking, or she's asking, Audrey. there are many crypto projects actually, and also traditional gaming projects coming out every day. So, but then, what will make Cypher? Well, actually, it's what Cypher plan to get adopted by non-crypto gamers as well.
It's a great question, and I think I answered earlier. Is first and foremost, the game has to be good. You can make it a crypto game, but the game sucks. I mean, then it's not going to work. So, our main priority is still focusing every day on, talking to our art team, talking to our game design team, our dev team on how do we make this game, casual to play, casual as in simple to pick up and play, because not many people will have like 100 hours to put into learning how to play League of Legends. That just doesn't work. But casual to play, but also very hard to master. But if the ones who really want to put in the time, then the mechanic, the spells, the skills, the character diversity can create a lot of strategy and tactics that will really reward the team that can understand and utilize all those elements of the game. So I think those are my answer on how we can increase adoption. Just making a great game for casual player, but also making a great game for really serious and competitive players. Thanks.
All right, thanks. The next question is from Cypher Wolf. So Cypher Wolf is actually a big believer in Cypher success. So his question is about yeah. So his question is about scalability, because scaling issues are a major problem in the blockchain industry. So then, will there be on-chain and off-chain mechanisms to be able to handle millions of users and millions of transactions?
Okay. So scaling issues is a major problem in blockchain industry, because Ethereum gas is crazy high. Like everybody knows that. That's why with gaming, we have to rely on off-chain and on-chain mechanism for sure. meaning that there are certain operations, we ask you to trust us and ask you to put your faith in us during that operation. And then at the end, or at the beginning and the end of the operation, we'll make sure to settle it on chain. So to give you an example, um, I'm sure a lot of the people here use Coinbase or FTX or Binance, right? So essentially, what you're doing on Binance is that you're trusting them while your money is in their system and you're trading there. But when you put your money in, that's an on-chain operation. When you take money out, that's an on-chain operation. Everything else you do inside Binance is essentially off-chain. So based on that example, at the beginning for Cypher, when we don't have the infrastructure to roll out everything on chain, and I don't think it's feasible to do everything on chain, it just doesn't make sense in terms of the money. So we'll do a few things off chain. For example, the gameplay, sort of like the matchmaking system, the reward system, crafting system. But then once you make all that and you want to take those items and you want to finish your session, you do an off-chain, on-chain operation to basically settle the update, settle the difference between as you join a session and as you finish your playing session. Hope answer your question regarding off-chain, on-chain. And then regarding scalability, yes, that's a big problem, and that's why we're looking into solutions to basically allow us to speed up the operation and be cheaper. Able to actually with the Ronin sidechain, we could do something similar. That are another sidechain that is EM, which is Ethereum compatible. We don't have the exact answer yet, but I'm sure by the time the game is about to be released next year in May and June, we definitely will have that answer for you. So yeah, thanks.
All right. Then the next question is from
Is it choppy for everyone or just a few people?
I think. All right, cool.
Okay.
Then so the next question is on 1JM777. So are you open to any further actions to make Cypher Inus deflationary? For example, combining ciphers to make more unique ones, burning ciphers, or receive some valuable tokens, or other methods suggested by the community.
Yeah. So we thought about this long and hard. For the 10,000 collection that we're launching, where we purposely remove the burn function. We don't want to burn these 10,000 just because we think they should remain as a valuable collections, and we want to keep it that way. And if those who don't want to hold on to it, the Cypher team is more than happy to buy it, at whatever price we think this is reasonable. But regarding the long-term future, as we have the cloning feature activated, and as the gameplay is roll out and we start having more Cypher Inus on the market, then we'll have the burn function where if you don't like the Cypher Inu that you have, then you can go to the laboratory. You can interact with a smart contract where you burn it, and then you get rewarded back with some resources that you can later on use in game. So that also help balance out and the inflationary aspect of the Cypher characters. Yeah, thanks.
All right, great, thanks. Then the next question is from Cypher Flower. So Cypher Flower is asking, how will changing expressions for the Cypher Inus work? Will it involve gas fees? I think it's because the Cypher Inus come with 5 different expressions.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a very technical one. So when we decided to do the 5 expression, we were quite worried that like how would it work, because it will require gas if it's all like a on-chain operation. So what we decided to do in order to implement this function, because I think this function is a great one and really makes owning the Cypher unique, is that we will, in the smart contract, basically what you're buying is your NFT. It will point to a URL. It will point to a server, a IPFS server, that will actually show and bring that image up for you to see, whether it's on OpenSea or in your wallet. So then you can visit our website and later in our game, and you can interact with an API via the Cypher interface that will allow you to update where that URL is referring to on the IPFS server. So essentially, you can do this using our tooling, and you don't have to pay gas. So it's free. We believe that this is the best way for our owner to basically keep ownership of the NFT, but also have the benefits of being able to change, from emotion 1 to emotion 6, and vice versa. And it's very flexible and it's instant. And we have tested it with OpenSea, and we have tested it with our website, and it works. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tin. The next question is from Fatal Pie, who appears to be a whale. So it's been announced there's a cap of 5 Cypher Inus per wallet, right? So he's wondering if you really mean 5 NFTs per wallet or per transactions, because he was hoping to mint at least 20 to get to have a chance for a Mystic Cypher Inu.
He's a whale for sure. So what I meant is 5 per wallet, and there's a very good reason for that. We chose to implement that because we believe, as a project, we rely a lot on the community, and the bigger the community, the better the project. So we don't want, sorry, Fatal Pie, but we don't want like 100 guys in to hold 100 Cypher Inu. So our project would just go to the shit, right? We actually want as many people holding and caring about their Cypher Inu as possible. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, and the second part of his question is, will the people that receive 2 NFTs from the pre-sale also able to mint 5 more, so 7 max in total?
Okay. Yes, so we explained this in the the announcement Notion link. So basically, if you're in the pre-sale whitelist and you're allowed, let's say 3, so then that 3 will add to the 5. So essentially, you have 8.
All right, yeah, so that's clear. So, the next question is from, let's see.
Wow, we're only 1/3 away. Looks like it's gonna be a long AMA.
All right, so next question is from Darknote777. So with each release of the new races, will the early adopters who now have access to the pre-sale automatically have access to the next pre-sales, or will a continued engagement be required to maintain that status?
Well, for now, I don't have a clear answer for this. I hope that I hope the early adopters will be rewarded through our ambassador program, and you guys will continue being the Super Cypher and the Alpha 100, and those guys will definitely be rewarded as we launch new things and we airdrop new things. Just by holding the original Inu, what does that get you? I'm sure it'll get you something that is cool. I have a few things already in plan, but I cannot disclose it now. But just know that by holding Cypher Inu, you're making an investment into this team that is hard at work at building a great community and building a great game. And whether that is of any value, that's up to you to decide. But I think it's worth something. Thanks.
All right, great. So then the next question is from XLeo. So he's asking, as Cypher releases new characters, skills, and items in the future, there might be some imbalances. So will there be like periodical or whatever balancing buffs and nerfs?
Yeah, I mean that is a key element in any successful MOBA, right? You do want to make sure that that the balancing act is done correctly. Otherwise, people don't want to play the game anymore, and that's something we take very seriously. That's why we're not rolling out like right away. We need to do some testing and making sure balancing is good. So in in a in a short answer, yes, we'll have the balancing mechanic to ensure that the game is fun and competitive. And that will be very important as well to make sure there's no pay. There's a still pay to win possible. So when it comes to people who have like a lot of money, like whales, and they buy items, and, expensive domains, and whatever to basically build up their characters, be very powerful. In competitive ranked matches, we'll have tools and systems to bring everyone down to a cap, so that the game is fun and competitive, and it's not like if you have the most money you win. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so you're breaking up sometimes again, but I hope everybody's still understood the answer. All right. Can you talk again? Let's just check to see if you sound fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually now it's better. Maybe it's only happens with long sentences. I don't know.
Right. Maybe it's the Discord. Okay, just keep going. I'm gonna change some settings. Keep going.
Yeah. All right. So the next question is from Merck. So he's asking, what are some of the biggest challenges do you anticipate in the first couple of months?
What are the big challenges I anticipate? Well, the biggest challenge is how do we manage this this launch of the first 10,000 Cypher Inu. That would be the first challenge. The second challenge is how do we continue to build on a great team to deliver the Sipherian adventure game, hopefully by the end of the year. And then the third challenge is, of course, how do we build an awesome MOBA on the blockchain in June next year. So I think these are the three biggest hurdle that the team has to overcome. Yeah.
All right, great. So the next question is from Kryptonite again. So yeah, so being a CEO of a real estate business and having multiple other businesses, what's your motivation to stay actively invested in Cypher actually?
So definitely, you guys know money is not a big motivation because in real estate business we are doing okay. So what is my motivation? It's just the passion for the game. Like I probably share in a few other places. I just love playing games since I was so young, and I think the idea of making games for people to play and see them enjoy the game that we make is so good and so awesome. And I'm very excited for what we're building here and what we continue to build. So that is my motivation. My passion for just making great games. Is there a timeline for this passion? I mean, with passion, you just do it until the passion is gone or you have another passion. But for me, I see this being the next big thing for me. If I don't have real estate and other obligations, this will be. I mean, it is already, but it will be my full time dedication. And I hope I can make something great out of this team and out of this idea that we have. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Sin. Then the next question is from Spell Thief. He's asking, what is it like to be relatively new to the NFT and crypto space while building your own project? And how did you manage to accomplish it in such a short space of time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very new to this space comparing, let's say, to Chris or to other people. It's only been 6 months or more, a bit more, 6 months, I think. So what was it like? It was overwhelming. It was too much information. It was a lot of things to learn. It was like to learn even from the basic of setting up your MetaMask was like a nightmare. Getting money onto the blockchain is a nightmare. The first few transactions you're sending money, you're like, oh shit, is it gonna like disappear? So it was it was like that. I think it was like that for a lot of people. How did I accomplish it? I don't think I've accomplished anything. I've just managed to spend a lot of time. I would say at easily 20 hours a week, easily, just reading up on anything crypto, anything blockchain that I can find my hands on. And you can see that in the Cypher Wikipedia, where we have these Cypher knowledge or the crypto knowledge section. And those are basically a collection of all the things that I've come across regarding crypto, blockchain, and gaming that I think are interesting. And I just save them there, tag them, try to categorize them, and hopefully share it with anyone who likes reading up about this kind of thing. And basically, just through that, digesting a lot of knowledge and digesting a lot of information, learning from all the great people around me, like the Kyber guys. And hopefully, just by jumping in firsthand and building this company, building Cypher, I will learn much more, because nothing beats building and learning at the same time. Thank you.
All right. Then the next question I'll pick from Minhyo, the artist. So his question is about the economy of the game. So is there any other revenue source besides the 4% from the NFT marketplace?
Yeah, we have a list. Basically, all this will be described in our Cypher token economy, which will be released as a white paper in the upcoming weeks. This thing is pretty much already, we already fleshed it out, because we're actively fundraising with some big institutional funds right now. I cannot share you the details, but there'll be a lot of revenue sources that will benefit the Cypher Vault, or you can say the Cypher Treasury. And those revenue sources will then benefit the Cypher token holders. Yeah.
I see. Then I think your answer is also related a little bit to a question of Root as well, because he asked whether the tokenomics would be released before the first pre-sale.
Yeah, it will not be released before, because I think we will only wrap up our fundraising round in, I think we'll probably announce everything by end of December. So will not be ready, will not be released by the 7th of September.
All right, great. Then, so I think you also already touched a little bit on the Treasury DAO topic. So I'm going to skip that. Then the next question is from Katif. Katif asks if you already have anyone who's an expert on tokenomics in the team to keep a healthy growth for the tokens, or do you plan to hire someone as the game release approaches?
Both. So we have Kyber and we have some pretty high profile advisor coming in. You'll see it in upcoming weeks as well, to advise us on tokenomics. But we're always looking for people to join our team, not only with the token economy, tokenomics, but with marketing, with community, with developing the game, with making designing art for the game. So we're in full hiring mode right now. So if your question is, are we hiring? Then yes, we're totally hiring. And please check our Cypher Wikipedia for the open position. We would love to have a chat with you and welcome you to the team. You don't have to be in Vietnam. You can be remote. You can be remote and working from overseas. Because there's no boundary with crypto. There's no border. So why have border for staff, for team? Thanks.
All right, thanks, Sin. So the next question is from MX5. So I think this is related to copyright a little bit. So when you own a Cypher Inu, are you allowed to make your own hard copies for personal use? For example, posters, stickers, and so on.
Absolutely. Yep. You have full rights. We wrote it in. I mean, we have the legal team draft up something, and I know legal is very complex, and they write essays and of words. So in short, you can, whatever you asked just now, can you make poster and character, and we can make artwork, derivative artwork out of your Cypher character you own? Absolutely. I mean, it's yours. You can do that for sure.
Yep, thank you. So yeah, so then this is a little bit about Ether and Cipher tokens, right? So then he also asked whether there's going to be an in-game exchange to exchange Ether and Cipher tokens while avoiding gas fees.
Yeah, so this relates to the the sidechain question earlier. Um, so there's two ways. One way is to do it off chain, meaning you completely trust us, like you trust Binance to do all this swapping for you, and then at the end of the session, we up push everything on chain, and you just sign off on this transaction. That is one way we're exploring. Another way is to do a Ronin sidechain like Axie, but our own, where we can make sure that it has really high transaction per second and a very cheap cost to run. So those are the two solutions we'll explore, and we are not sure which one we'll use, or we might even use something like Polygon, or that can also be very cheap. So we're exploring a few options.
Great. Then another part of his question is about, so does Cypher plan on releasing a public API so the community developers would be able to build utility tools or apps?
We would love to, because like I said, we are here to make an open-ended game where the world is so massive, and as you can see from what Alan posted in the announcement channel, the worlds we're creating are essentially like the multiverse, right? Like just blocks after block after block, and each block, when they break apart, inside is the world waiting for you, the players, to discover. So there's only a limit on how many world, the Cypher internal team can create. And we want to engage our community so much that everyone can join and help us create new worlds, new story, new lore. So in order to do that, and once we have the capital and the resources, we'll definitely try to release some kind of simple SDK for basically modders, game modders, like those who play Skyrim and stuff. They know to make your own content and then push it to the Cypher universe. And because it's blockchain, so whatever you make, you own, and also you can basically charge people for it, and we just be the facilitator. So it goes back to my idea of participating in the Cypher universe will allow you to make money from not from from more than just playing the game. You can make things, you can craft items, you can make worlds, you can make environment, and we want you to be rewarded for that. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Tin. I have a question from the Owl here. So he's asking whether the Inus are going to be tradable on OpenSea as well, or just the Cypherian laboratory.
So once we have finished the minting process, the Cypher and Search collection will be tradable on OpenSea.
I see. And the second part of this question is about whether Cypher plans to get listed on Rarity Tools or Rarity Sniper after listing.
Yes,
after minting.
we already have plans in place for that.
All right, great. And then let me see. So the last part of a question from MX5 actually. So besides cosmetical items for the characters, can the players also buy all the NFTs like flying cars and pets that can have utilities in the game? I think it's a little bit of looking into the future.
Yeah, I mean, when we launch our social gameplay component, I don't want to reveal too much because really like promising something that we may not be able to achieve well. But one of the goals is definitely to release a social function where, imagine in the Cypher world, you have your own kind of space, like your own kind of like room. It's a pretty big room, and you can just have tons of things inside, like all different NFT items, and even like a car or like pets, and like robots that you acquire during the journey. You can have it in your room and display it, and you can invite other Cypher to join and hang out with you in the room. So that is the one of the feature on the roadmap. But we're trying to prioritize the adventure gameplay and the mobile gameplay first. But if we have time, we'll definitely explore that function. And then regarding flying cars, it's interesting that you asked because the first world that you guys and some of the concept art you see coming soon in the first world will be cars. Sure. If
All right. So
we
you're
get
breaking up. We're losing you. Hello, Tin. Can you still hear me?
Okay. I mean,
Yeah. So we cannot really hear you at all.
right now you can hear me?
Not really. You sound like a robot, like a broken one.
Okay.
What I don't know. What if you try to maybe, I don't know, exit I mean, leave the room and then join again?
Okay.
1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. I'm saying that Tin revealed too much and the mad scientist is not happy. Oh, I see. Scientist
Hello?
controls. Oh, hello, Tin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Can you talk a little bit?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better now.
Okay. This is the best I can do. I'm not sure what's going on with my internet, so sorry for that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, I think it's better now. So let's continue.
Okay.
Yeah. So Thony NFT is asking a question. So yeah. So as the game still needs to be developed or is under development, what is this timeline do you have in mind for different release stages? You know, like demo, alpha, beta, and stuff. Because regular game development usually take years. So so how does Cypher its releases?
Just like we'll follow all alpha, beta. We already planned for all our
So cutting off again.
really. Yeah, I'm using phone speak. The PC was not good.
So now you're on your phone.
Yeah, now on Wi-Fi. You guys can still not hear.
Actually, you yeah, exactly.
Us.
It yeah, it's not better.
Is it better?
No. Why if you say like one word, then we can hear you. But if you continue talking, then we only hear like half of the sentence.
Is there a voice setting of this?
Or I'm not sure what the problem might be. Is that with the thresholds, with the noise detection or something? I don't know. Do you have an idea, Peekaboo?
Like now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's a little bit better. Okay, can you like say a long sentence?
Yeah, sorry guys. So can you hear me now? I set my
Oh yeah, I think
sensitivity
yeah.
to really low.
Yeah, much better now. Much better now actually. Right, cool. So then back to the question from Tony NFT. So about the alpha, beta, and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So with alpha and beta, for sure, it's a typical game development process. So we're planning to alpha the game, about 3 months in before the launch, and then with the beta, maybe like a month before the launch. The reason why we do it so short is because we don't have much time. We do want to release the game quite aggressively in June. Um, so we're taking a risk here, but I hope we can tweak and improve the game as we go along.
All right, thank you. Then I see we have some new questions in the thread. Let me quickly pick something from there. So yeah, so a question from Ryuk. So he's asking, is there any future plan in Cypher for forming clans and mini metaverses where unique-minded players can hang out and play together as teams?
Yeah, guilds and clans are a big part of Cypher. We want you to be able to form guilds and clan very easily, and also for guild master to basically manage their guilds and benefits from the management tasks. And we also want you to be able to form guilds from not just your friends but also from other people who wants to join and play the game but may not have access to financially, like asked earlier. So there will be a few ways you can really make use of guilds and clan for the playing element. And then for the exploration and the world element, guilds and clan are also very important. There are certain land plots and cities or nodes that only guilds and clans can basically compete and fight over those domination, and not any single character. So again, we want to create a very sociable, very team dynamic that will get people playing with each other. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Tim. So the next question I see here is from Florian C. He's asking whether there will be a VR experience in Cypher at some point.
No plans for now. VR is a complicated, it's a challenging task to say the least. To make good VR, I think even with Facebook throwing billions of dollars into this, it's hard to make a good VR game. I don't think we're there yet. But who's that to say, in 4 or 5 years' time, maybe we'll all be living in the metaverse through VR. And, I would love for Cypher to be there if we can. Thanks.
Yeah, like in the movie Player One Ready, right?
Yeah, in Ready Player One, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What an amazing future we'll be living in. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So there's a question from Gaspacho. This is a little bit open-ended. So he's saying that he's quite curious about the teaser, that the end game goal of creating an open world social game element. So he knows that it's still a long way there, but then he would love to know just a little bit more about it.
I'm not sure if you guys have how many people here have played games like World of Warcraft or similar games like what's another big one like EverQuest 2 or like one of the classic is Ultima Online. The game is essentially as good as the community, and the game has to be open-ended enough that the community doesn't feel restrained and they feel that they can contribute to the game design, to the game lore. So, to answer that question, I think that's why we purposely made Cypher a universe of worlds, where if in the future the community decided or want us to build new worlds with XYZ feature and XYZ kind of like lore and gameplay, we would love to together we work with the community to build that.
Great. So I see a good question here actually from Yelith. Centurion Scholar. So he's asking whether Cypher has plans to focus on the esports market and other professional competitive players as well.
Yeah, esports is so like making this game esports ready is one of our goal. We are definitely not competing against the giants, let's say like League of Legends or Dota, because they have like an insane amount of budget when it comes to game development and marketing. But we hope to carve out a niche for ourselves, where it's still a mobile game, but it's very fun, it's very engaging. And also it has other like crypto elements like the adventure mode, and also the very vibrant crafting and upgrade system. So I think we'll have our own stand, our own niche in the world, and if the esports thing take off, then we'll be ready for it.
Thanks, Tim. So another question is from Shionji. Shionji asks, so Shionji realizes that the game is going to be global, so he wonders whether we're going to have multiple servers or just a single server. I think his concern is about latency.
Okay, yeah, latency is always a big problem. Definitely multiple server. I mean, with server nowadays they use a thing called edge computing. So basically, the game server would choose the closest server node in between all the active player to allow for the lowest latency possible. So we'll try to implement similar technology when the time comes in order to help you play, as lag free as possible, but no promises.
Yeah, latency is important to win games, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then I have a question from Darknote 777, and also it's from Blink Blink. So they're asking, is Cypher a creative outlet of yourself? I think meaning more like did you come up with all these amazing lores and stories and concept and everything? And also, what inspired you to create Cypher?
No, it's not me. It's this mad scientist that we kept talking about, right? I don't know who he is, but he seems to be able to come up with a great story and a great lore. So yeah, what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, that's always answered. Great.
Okay.
Right. So Florian C also has a question. This is I think this is a little bit wild. Are there plans for stuff like movies or Netflix shows and stuff like that features Cypher?
Oh my God. No, this is awesome because I was talking about it the other day. I have a good friend who's a great movie director and producer in Vietnam, and I share with him about Cypher, and he loved it, and he's saying we should be making this into like a webtoon, like comics, release weekly, and also later on into like a short series animation. So we're just bouncing ideas just a couple of days ago, but nothing concrete. Right now, our main focus is still the launch of the Inu and building the game. But if we ever get our hands on a web comic to further flesh out the lore, and maybe if the community can support us in making this web comic, it can be like a one shot release every week, and that'll be so awesome. I'm fully behind it.
And that'll be sick. Yeah. All right. So we're actually already out of time. I'm not sure if you have time for one or two more questions, actually, Tim.
Yeah, another 15 minutes, and I should be good. Yeah.
All right.
1-5. Yeah, 1-5.
Yeah. So Cypher Wolf has a question actually to you personally. What is the game that you spend most of your time on? So what is your favorite game or games?
Oh, it's so hard to say because I love so many games. I like indie games a lot. I think they tell a great story. I also like a lot of AAA games because just the production value is amazing. But last but not least, the games that keep me coming back the most is still competitive multiplayer game. I think those are the ones that bring me back because that's competitive in nature and it's fun playing with friends. So latest game that I spent quite a lot of time playing is actually Apex Legend, Brawl Stars, and a bit of a Smash Legend.
Right, thanks, Tin. It looks like you might have troubles with audio again.
Okay.
Can you...
Yeah, say it again.
Yeah, so it's the same problem as before, actually.
Oh, really? Okay, it was working fine. Can you hear me now? Is it
Yeah, now it's good. Now it's good.
okay? Yeah.
Cool.
So you got my answer though, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
great. Then I have a question here from Captain Cook. So Captain Cook is that I think he's so he's asking about staking, but not sure if he means the staking of the NFTs or the tokens, because I think we only have the tokens, right? So then that's why he asked whether the staking will be done through the marketplace or a separate web portal.
The staking will be done. Okay. So if he's talking about an NFT, there is no NFT staking. If he's asking about the Cypher token, there will be Cypher token, and it will be done on the Cypher website that will interact with our smart contract.
Yeah. All right. Clear. Then Captain Cook also has another question. I think this is related to the gameplay. So is there any discussion on how you plan to stop? I believe bots as in I think in the game, right? So people taking advantage of farming accounts.
Okay. In order to prevent bots, it's depend on the game architecture. Like if you have a lot of how do I say it? If your game relies on the client too much, then a lot of hacking and botting can be done. But if the game is relying on the server mostly, then there's less chance. So right now can you hear me?
Yeah, we just lost you for a few seconds.
Oh, that's okay. That's really strange, huh?
Now it's good.
Okay. Yeah, so it really depends on the architecture of the game that we chose to go with. I don't have the right answer for now, but for sure, preventing bots and auto farming bots is one of our priority, because we do want to make this into a fair and an engaging game, and not a game where you have like just machines running the game for you and you just take advantage of it. We don't want that.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So a question from Electro Cozy. So Electro Cozy asked, I think he asked about the cloning and breeding of the ciphers. So how will the clone ciphers differ from the original ciphers in terms of skills and pricing? And so the differences between let's say the first gen and let's say second, third, and next gens.
It will be different in terms of looks. It will be different in terms of skills because of the sub race, but not because of the race. Meaning that if you have let's say a cosmic race, and you were lucky enough to clone another cosmic, then the two cosmic will have the same skill. They will have access to the same skill in the game. There will be no difference in skill. But the difference with the second cosmic is that it's not the original 10,000. It will never be recorded on the 10,000 mint contract as the original. Like you never own a part of something special. And secondly, how would the market dictate the price? How would the price be dictated? It will be dictated by the market. For example, if it's really hard for people to clone cosmic, then owning a cosmic is really good. It's like really valuable. Number one. Number two, in-game questing and adventures. If during certain moment inside the season, there are certain quests or certain battles that really favor one sub race or one character type over another, then that character type and sub race will just be more valuable during that season. So those are the two elements that will dictate the market price, obviously, for your NFT characters. And of course, the look is also an important element, right? If you create like a very good looking, character just by chance, then, inherently it's more valuable.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. So a question from Don Pute / Shady Brother. So he's asking whether the MOBA is going to be like traditional top-down like Dota and League of Legends, or is it going to be like third person like in Smite and so on?
Okay. Clearly a gamer at heart. It'll be top-down. It'll be a top-down traditional view. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then here, so Pinbacker, actually, I believe this has been answered already, but he wants to ask it again. Oh yeah, so it's about you having so much experience in owning bars and all the businesses. So he wants to ask, what was the most important lesson that you learned from all these?
Okay. Well, I thought he's gonna ask me if I'm gonna open a bar inside Sipheria. And the answer will be hell yes. I mean, I already made plans to make a very cool cyber bar inside Sipheria where we all can hang out and have a drink, a cyber drink. What is the lesson that I learned? I mean, I share briefly a few, snippets on my blog and also on Twitter, but essentially you just have to love what you do. I mean, it sounds so cheesy, but if you love what you're doing, then you just have that much more energy and time to go deep and research and talk to other people and learn from them and try this and try that and try it until it work. You just have that much more energy to knock on so many new doors and try to open them up. And when you have that passion, when you fail, you just have more energy to pick yourself back up and do it again. I think that's what I learned.
Yeah, great. So a question from Cypher Kurt. So he's asking whether the players are going to have limited amounts of time to play per day, or can we play as much as we want?
So the answer is twofold. So this is very deep and we haven't released this yet, but basically you'll be given a certain amount of Aether every day. And when you play, you consume those Aether. And once you finish all your Aether, you will not be able to play until the next day. However, you can also earn Aether as you play. If you play well and you win and you complete like certain quests, then you can earn Aether. So that also help you play more. And lastly is you can also acquire Aether from the marketplace from other player who have extra Aether to sell to you. And then that allows you to play more. This is our idea at the moment.
Right, great, thanks, Tim. Then a question from Rugi Lumpy. So he asked, what is the plan to PvE? I think he's just generally curious about the PvE aspect of Cypher.
What is the plan for PvE? I think the easiest example would be to say a similar game where we got a lot of inspiration from Magnum Quest and AFK Arena. So those are the two PvE gameplay mode that we really like for the so-called busy people who only have like 15-30 minutes a day. Another gameplay that we really like and we want to roll out for the PvE as well, along with the MOBA launch, is the raid mode, where instead of like 3v3 against other player, we want to make a match where it's 5 of you against a big boss, like a big monster. And you have to like use all the different characters and skills and unique spells and strategy, to beat that monster in order to receive, amazing rewards like items and new armor and new costume and new skills. So those are the plan for PvE right now.
So an element of RPG as well as in a mobile game, right?
Yeah, so there'll be another mode on top of the MOBA. There'll be another mode where it's a group of players fighting against bosses in like a raid, like a dungeon settings, right?
Raiding sounds great.
Oh yeah,
So a question.
I love my 40-man race in WoW, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh yeah, so here I see a question from Lone Wolf. So he's asking, will all Cypher owners have access to the server at the same time or separated into batches at launch? I think this is about like who has early access and who not.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Who has early access to what?
So so it's about whether everyone who owns a Cypher Inu will be able to play the game at the same time, or will you let some people in first and then in batches? You know.
Right. The original 10,000, the first 10,000 will definitely have first preference, but unfortunately, we know that our alpha and beta servers will not be able to handle 10,000 people. That's for sure. And it's a great problem to have, but we don't want to disappoint you. So we will definitely have a select list uh, of alpha and beta tester. And I think this is where the Alpha 100 program and the Super Cypher program comes into play, because if you guys are our active members and supporter, obviously you have the first access to whatever game testing or gameplay when we have it ready.
Great, thanks, Tim. So yeah, so I see a question here, a new one from Cypher Wolf. Will there be items more rare, valuable than the Inus themselves?
I never say never, for sure. I think I'm sure there'll be days where you guys will find some amazing item that is like a rare version one of one, that by holding it and rocking it in the world, everyone would know like who you are, and you're like instantly famous. I can't wait for that day to come, but I'm sure it'll get there.
All right. So Ryuk is pasting his question again from above. It's about what is the starting point for the founder to come up with this theme and unique idea? Was it a dream or a future vision of our world? I think Tin already answered this.
Yeah. A mad scientist emailed me. No, I mean, okay, you guys don't like it if I don't give you a straight answer, but it's essentially all this come from me. I mean, and where does it come from? I just love science fiction, and I love games, and I love great stories, and I love movies like Altered Carbon, and Star Wars and Star Trek, and that kind of thing. So Mass Effect, right, is a great game. So yeah, I mean, this is where it all come from, man. For all the great stories around us. Yeah, and I just got the inspiration from that. And of course, another big inspiration is the beauty and the philosophy of blockchain and cryptography. I think those two married together gave me the idea and the vision for Cypher. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. So a question from Pinbacker. Will there be ways to avoid quote unquote local government in Cypher via black market mechanics? And I think while talking about that, what will you say is the most cypherpunk aspect that we can encounter in the game?
Yeah, go.
So I think he's referring to like what is the local government's going to be in the game. Like I think that is the part of the cypherpunk culture that the it's going to be so detached and different from the real world.
I haven't thought about this far yet, man. You guys are making me think. I'm not sure if there'll be local governments. I mean, in what form? It'll be an interesting idea to explore another time, but we definitely want to create clans and guilds, and have guilds and clans that have like massive influence over the player base and what's going on with the world. We're thinking of ideas of like if a certain clan or guild control over 51% of certain areas, then they have the right to change the cosmetics of those areas. Like they can change the river from blue to like red, and change the trees from like your purple trees, like, or into like like orange trees, for example. to really make their mark on the world. So those are the ideas we're thinking of it now, but we don't know how to implement it in a nice and persistent way and still maintain the aesthetic of the game. We're still working on it, and we have to get back to you on that.
All right, great, thanks, Tim. Actually, we are at 15 minutes, 16 minutes
Okay.
over.
Cool. Wow,
Yeah.
that was a great an hour and 15 minutes, right? Thanks a lot, Chris. So just a recap. Like there's a few things that I may not have answered properly or not clear. We'll try to we try to go through as many questions, and I try to give as clear as possible. But if I did not, then just leave us a message, and once we have the answer, we'll get back to you. I really appreciate all the questions from the community. It's our first AMA, so there's always room for improvement. Let us know how we can improve. Definitely, my sound audio has to be improved. I know that. Apart from that, yeah, thanks everyone for joining in, and thank you so much, Chris, for volunteering to be the interviewer of this AMA.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Tim, for the time, and especially the community for all the questions and for tuning in. Like almost 150 people here. So thank you for that and the support. I see even Loy is also here as well. So
cool. Yeah. That's
right. I think there was an echo. Maybe you could repeat that.
Yeah, you're echoing. You're echoing, Peekaboo. Awesome.
Especially
Thank you,
for
Peekaboo.
for the giveaway as well. Actually, for the two
Yep.
Sipheria giveaway for the two best questions. I think that'll be announced.
Yep.
All right. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone. Then let's
Thank
stay
you,
in touch
everyone.
in Discord. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day, everyone.
Peekaboo.
Bye bye.
Peekaboo, can you play that song that we were playing before we start the session? I really like that song. Yeah, let's play that song in a vibing channel. Okay, thanks everyone. Goodbye. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.